What's going on, Set Free Fishing? It's Jerry here. I got a sit down video for you where I'm going to be speaking a little bit about recovery, my story of recovery, and just a topic that has come up in recent AA meetings that I've been to. Loved my new book. My wife got it for my birthday. It says, it's got Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And boy, did he know the plans he had for me and my future, and they were more than I could imagine. And what I want to speak on about recovery today is one of the last topics at one of the last AA meetings I went to. The topic, a gentleman asked, "Where has God showed up in your life?" And for me, God not only showed up in my life, but he showed out in my life. He showed up at my very bottom. He showed up and drug me, he drug me straight out of the pits of hell, where life and society had left me. And God reached down, pulled me out, and gave me a life more beautiful than I could ever imagine. A beautiful, beautiful life. And this is just something that I wrote down while I was in the meeting. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how God has worked on me, through me, and in me in my walk of sobriety. God is at every meeting and speaks through his people. He has led most AA members to this fellowship of recovery. God shows up at our darkest hour. Whether we see him then or later in life, he was there to guide us in the right direction. God sent me to AA, and AA brought me to God. Whether by court order or self-will, we come to AA with a nudge from God. God showed up for Bill to give him the idea to create a fellowship that would one day lead millions to live a life of sobriety. God gives us a heart of giving when we're surrounded to when we surrender to his will in our lives. We freely give back, which we never would have done in our drinking and drugging days. It feels so great to be able to give back. Yeah, and that is something that just we would have never gave anything away when we were drinking and drugging, especially me. I barely gave my time away when I was drinking or when I was drugging. I barely gave that away because I spent most of my time chasing this high and trying to fill this void that I could never fulfill. And then God showed up, and he pulled me out of this place of agony, this place of pain and suffering and hopelessness, and he filled my heart with joy, happiness, freedom. Sobriety is such a beautiful thing that God can grant you if you allow him to, and if you would step foot into the rooms of AA and see God work through each of his people. And that's what he does in AA. He speaks through each of his people, and he gives someone the right thing to say at the right time to relate to the right person, so they can enjoy their life of sobriety and live a happy and joyous free life. So God showed up for me in my darkest days. battling 13 years of drug addiction, living on streets pretty much at that point. And he showed up and pulled me out of that and showed me the life I could have. And needless to say, I walked away from it all, and I ended up relapsing because of it, because I turned my back on God and what he had done for me. So when I turned my back and relapsed, when I relapsed, I was living okay. But okay is not good enough. Because the Lord says if you are lukewarm, he will spew you out of his mouth. He does not like lukewarm. You're either on fire for God or you're not. He don't like a lukewarm Christian. He don't like a lukewarm follower. So you got to be on fire for God. You got to show the world what God has done for you in your life, and speak his name and speak his word and live his word, and that's what I was failing to do, and it led me back into temptation, and ultimately I fell into that temptation, and it made me to go back out and practice drugging for another, I don't know, probably year. And at that time I was living okay. I still worked, but I was bouncing from job to job because I couldn't hold down a job because I'd get dope sick and end up laying out of work and just all kinds of stuff, stealing money and just all kinds of stupid stuff that we fall right back into if we allow the devil to get in our head and mess with us. Plus, we're addicts and alcoholics. We got stinking thinking is what we call it, and it is some stinking thinking. We'll do anything to connive someone to do what we want, to manipulate people to do what we want, and get the things that we need. So I was living an okay life, and I was working. I had a girlfriend. And she was suspicious of my drugging, but she at one time thought it was just marijuana, and then I quit the marijuana and got her back and was still doing my opiates. And ultimately God also showed up again to pull me out of my misery, because here I am faking something, acting like I can save money to build me and her a future. That was never going to happen, because when you're on opiates, you ain't saving a dime. You ain't even saving a pill for the next day, because you're going to freaking do it all. That's just the way we are, if you're anything like me. So he showed up for me. I was going to my dealer's house, one of my dealers, many dealers. And when I pulled into the neighborhood, I seen a cop sitting there, and I know they had been staking this house out. So I knew they were watching this house. And the way I was, nobody on this earth was going to stop me from going to get my fix, so I wouldn't be dope sick. So I went to the house anyways. I used while I was there so I wouldn't bring drugs out of the home with me, but I was smart enough to do that, but I was dumb enough to put the paraphernalia in my wallet. They freaking give away straws every day at the store. Why I put that straw in my wallet, who knows? Maybe it was a divine appointment by God that he put into place. So I put the straw in my wallet, leave the house. When I go to leave, I get pulled over. Knew it was going to happen. Thought I was slick. Oh, I ain't got no drugs on me. But yeah, that wasn't the case. They they tore my truck apart and found no drugs, but they ended up grabbing my wallet. When the lady officer grabbed my wallet, my heart fell because I knew I was caught. So bam, found the straw, bam, immediately called my parents. The truck I was in at the time, it was my truck, but it was still in my dad's name. So they called my parents to come get the truck so they didn't have to tow it. They came and got the truck. I was exposed right there to my parents. Then came the part where I was supposed to call my wife and my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now. That's how great of a God I have. So she ended up calling me and asked me what was going on. I told her what was going on. and said, look, I'm going to get help. I know I need help. I know I can't do it alone. I'm calling detox. I'm calling rehabilitation. I'm going to get rehab. Um, you know, do whatever you got to do pretty much. And she chose to stay by my side, fight with me. And now we have a beautiful life. So God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. He showed up and put that cop there, put me in that situation to where I could get the help I needed, because I was so prideful, way too prideful to ask for the help, and too ashamed to admit, hey, I was using again, I need help, I can't do it alone. So he put me in that situation to get me the help I needed. And I got the help I needed. I went to Mary Lyons Detox Center here in Tri-County. And the Tri-County program is consistent of Polk County, Highlands, and Hardy County. Right here I got a meetings list. It's to all the AA meetings in the area. So really good meetings you can go to. So God showed up, showed out once again, saved my life once again, and put me on the right track. I went to detox and ended up getting in the outpatient program, and boy, my life has done a complete 180 since then. I had a good friend of mine take the chance with me and gave me a job. I worked with him for a couple years, and we're still good friends. You know, I left on good terms and got a better job. Now I got a career, actually, that my brother-in-law stuck his neck out for me, took a chance with me, and got me a job at a great company, and I live a beautiful life today. Do I struggle? Yeah, I still struggle. Who doesn't? Normal people struggle. And which one of us is normal, you know? So God showed up and showed way out. Got me a great career. I got a beautiful daughter that I just adore so much. It's all I ever wanted, was a family to love and to love me back. And I've always had a loving family, but I wanted one of my own, and I have that today, and it's all because God showed up and showed out. And I see him every day in my daughter's eyes, in her laugh, in her smile. I see God. I see God saying, there you go. Here's your gift. Because that's truly what she is to me. She's a gift from God, something that I'd never dreamt that I'd have, or that would be reality for me, because of the struggles and the pain that I have been through. And here I am today with the most beautiful daughter in the world, the most beautiful wife / mom my daughter could ever have. And I live a beautiful life, and it's all because God decided to show up and show out for me. So I'm very thankful and grateful today that God came in my corner and fought for me, and ripped me out of the hands of the devil, and set me next to him, and allowed me to be his disciple, allowed me to spread his word and the message of hope. And I'm very thankful today that I'm rescued, I'm set free, my chains are broken. I no longer have to live in fear of you know, where I'm gonna sleep, or what I'm gonna eat, or am I gonna get gunned down? Am I gonna get shot when I try to rob this next person? I no longer have to live in those fears no more, because I make my money the clean way, and I live life the clean way. Though I still struggle sometimes, I'll take this struggle any day over that struggle. And I just thank God that he took a rich like me and gave me the life he has given me. I have more than I could ever ever hoped for, and I'm so thankful for that. So this is just a video of telling you what God can do. And another thing he done, he put AA in my corner. The first time I got sober, I didn't know nothing about AA. I knew of AA, and I kind of made fun of AA. But boy, was I wrong about AA. It's a beautiful, beautiful fellowship that God allowed to be on this earth. It's a fellowship where you no longer have to fight alone. No, I didn't have to fight alone when I was going to church. But they didn't really speak on the subject of alcoholism and addiction. Yeah, there's plenty of people that are in church that are ex-alcoholics, ex-addicts, and stuff like that, but they just don't speak on it enough. So that's why I love AA so much. It's a room that I can go in and get all the material I need to fight back each and every day, and hear all these stories of hope and success and future, and I can do that too because they've done it. And that's what's so beautiful about AA. God showed up when two guys got together and thought of the idea of making this fellowship. And boy, it's a beautiful, beautiful fellowship that God has allowed on this earth. One of the most beautiful. It's a fellowship where you no longer have to fight alone. It's a we program. You do it together. You got a sponsor that you can call each and every day, and then you got a network of men and women you can call each and every day, but your sponsor, and then you got this 12-step program that you can work these 12 steps and rebuild you. It helps you work on you as a person. That's the beauty. Yeah, you can do it together, but you work the program, the 12 steps on your own with your sponsor, and it helps build character. It helps make you a better person. It helps you realize your faults and work on those and fix those things. So if you're struggling with alcohol or addiction today, whichever, they got meetings for, they got 12-step programs for everything you can think of. Cocaine Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Al-Anon, which is a family thing where you can go with your family and your family can learn how to help you and signs to look for and stuff. There's so many different things. I stuck with AA because it's more spiritual to me. It's the original. It's what started all the different 12 steps, and it's more spiritual. It's closer to God. Most things that are in the AA big book, a lot of the stuff that is in that book comes from the biggest book, which is the Bible. So to me, it's more spiritual, and it's, I don't know, it's just, there's something about it when you step in the rooms of AA. I can feel the power of God speaking through people, speaking through individual people, speaking to me. That's why I made it a mission to start writing some of the stuff down, because when I'm sitting in that room, nobody said that stuff that I read. God spoke that into me. God gave me that to write down, to share with y'all, to let y'all know that you don't have to fight alone no more. There's a fellowship of men and women willing to stand by your side, and as long as you're willing to show effort, they'll fight with you. So if you got any questions on where to find a meeting, how you can get one of these pamphlets where all the meetings are listed, there's also an app, a meeting guide app, that you can download on your phone, and it tells you about all the AA. And the Tri-County stuff is just, our 3 counties, but it's everywhere. So don't get it twisted. If you're watching in Australia, you can find a meeting in Australia. I'm sure if you Google AA meetings, Google will pull it up for you. There's a meeting anywhere in the world. You can go to Antarctica right now. I've said it a million times. You can go to Antarctica right now, and I guarantee you, the penguins are sitting around in a circle drinking coffee, or the Eskimos or whatever, telling stories of how they cope and how they win the good fight. So if you have any questions, reach out on this video. Ask me whatever you want. If you got ideas for topics of upcoming videos, that stuff you might be struggling with or you want to hear about, reach out, please reach out. Give me some ideas of content to film. Even if it's the fishing content, you can give me ideas on that. I'd rather you give me ideas of what you're struggling with and what you want to hear about, and the things that I've done to help me with that certain area. But reach out. So yeah, I reached 1,500 followers on TikTok. That's pretty cool. That's more than I ever thought I'd have. But I'm still trying to build a community on this, you know, on this channel here at Set Free Fishing on YouTube. And it'll get there one day. I'm just gonna keep working at it. I'm just gonna keep producing content, keep hustling, keep, you know, fighting a good fight, and one day I'll get there. Until then, you know, I'll just keep making content and do the best I can to put fish on the screen and love in the heart, you know. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this video, and remember, while you're out there, make the tug your drug.